So the White House is now defending a plan that will raise billions in taxes on Americans' wealthiest individuals in order to help the middle class. The move, a likely centerpiece for the president's State of the Union address, which we will hear tonight, of course. But freshman Senator Joni Ernst expected to lay out a different message during the Republican response tonight. Her colleague, freshman Utah Congresswoman Mia Love, joins us now, and it is a pleasure to have you with us, Congresswoman. Welcome, and good morning to you.
How are you, Martha?
I'm doing well. Thank you. It's good to have you with us today, and welcome. So, we've heard really the broad outlines of what we expect to hear tonight, and it is a multi-million-dollar increase in taxes that would then be sort of refunneled to people that the administration believes are not being fairly treated in the income equality situation in the country. What do you think about that remedy?
Well, it's redistribution of wealth. I mean, understand that these are the job creators. These are the people that gave my father 3 jobs and in order to make ends meet. And so a tax in any form, eventually the poor end up paying for it with their jobs. And so we have to ask ourselves, do these policies actually help hardworking Americans, or do they eventually hurt hardworking Americans?
Yeah, I mean, another thing a question that's raised by all of this is whether or not you could give additional benefits like the child tax credit, for example, if you could pay for that by cutting spending, which doesn't seem to be crossing the lips of anybody in this conversation. The answer is to tax the rich people in order to pay for it. But why no discussion of cutting spending in order to pay for that?
I wholeheartedly agree. We should be discussing balancing the budget, or actually having a budget. We should be discussing the fact, hoping that the president will make good on his promises to work with Congress. I know that I'm doing my job, the things that I was sent here to do, which is have policies that are out there that are going to actually give more decision making back to the American people, be able to help them financially keep a little bit more of their money. And I'm hoping the president will do his job and actually sign those bills into law. Well, if we started talking about those things, I believe that we would be doing a lot better as a country.
So he's going to lay down his marker on the middle class tonight and on income inequality. I guess what's the response going to be from Republicans in the House to this? We had heard that there was going to be a bill put on the president's desk every week. We haven't seen that yet. What can we expect?
Well, I can tell you what we have seen from the House is we've passed the Keystone Pipeline bill. We've done Homeland Security and defunding the President amnesty bill. We've done a lot to try and defund the President's Obamacare laws, and we're hoping that that gets through the Senate, have the Senate do their job and have the President do his job and actually sign those bills. And I'm just hoping that people will follow what we're doing in the House, and we're getting our bills through as quickly as we possibly can.
And what about in the Senate? Are what's going on over there?
Well, I hope that they move a lot faster than they say that they're moving. Again, the American people have put the Senate back in the hands of Republicans, and I hope that they do their job in terms of getting these things and getting them to the president's desk so that way he can actually sign them into law. We're doing our job. The American people have given us not a mandate, but given us an opportunity to get things done and untangle this web that we've been dealing with for the past 6 years.
The polls show that Americans are not confident in the situation and the state of the union, essentially, according to the numbers that we're looking at. And I think that part of that may be coming from a national state of insecurity, the fears over what we've seen happen in Paris and concerns that something like that could happen here. What do you want to hear from the president on that tonight? And what do you think we might hear from Joni Ernst in response on that tonight?
There's a saying, this old saying in law that said what was meant to be used as a shield shall not be used as a sword. And the reason why the American public is so upset with what's happening in Washington is because the government that was supposed to protect life, liberty, pursuit of happiness is now being used as a sword. So again, if we remember whose house we're in, if we remember who we work for, which is the American people, I believe that we'll be able to get all of these things that will actually help hardworking Americans through. I'm just sending a message out there to everyone that's in Washington right now. Remember who you work for.
And what do you think, what's the number one thing that you would like to see happen for the middle class in this country to improve the situation that they're in? Because that's the president's MO tonight.
Cut spending. Give the Americans the control over their health care, over their lands, over how they're going to educate their children. Let the Americans make decisions for their own lives, because they're the most qualified for making decisions in their own homes and in their own communities, and pass a budget. I believe if we can do that in the first year, that would start turning our country and putting us on the road in the right direction.
All right, Mia Love, thank you very much, Congresswoman. Good to have you with us today.
Thank you.